we will go on to our third question. This one is about the DOJ consent decree and the CASA agreement. It is clear from the CASA agreement and reports from Mr. James Ginger, Special Monitor from the Department of Justice, that APD still has use of force problems. Excessive use of force is never acceptable and is exceptionally harmful to our people of color. Currently, there is a backlog of excessive use of force cases that have not been investigated. What are your plans? This is the question. What are your plans to bring APD in line and to monitor and enforce, as well as be in compliance with the consent decree? We'll start this round with Mayor Tim Keller.
Sure. So for us, when it comes to reform, I think we've learned a lot over the last 4 years. Number one is the biggest policy change that we actually did accomplish was creating a new use of force policy that was signed off on by advocates and by the courts and by the department. The challenge has been implementing it, and that's why I think it's so important to have a mayor who understands how this works. First, we've got to keep the superintendent of reform. We pulled the academy and internal affairs and monitoring out of the chain of command, and that's essential to actually making progress. What we saw when we didn't have that was lots of challenges that led to the DOJ monitoring report that you referenced. Now, we've also made some changes in our academy curriculum, whether it's anti-racism training, whether it's cultural competency, or whether it's changing the leadership who runs the academy. This new leadership team is committed to actually training everyone up on that use of force. That was the number one issue that we were lagging on. That is scheduled to be completed this winter. And so those are areas where I think we're making major progress. But it's because of what we've learned. And I think it's trying to come into this with an attitude towards real change as opposed to lip service, as opposed, frankly, to the past approach, which was just either denial or, hey, this will just go away fast. We're committed to doing this for real, and that means it's going to take a long time. That means it's going to have starts and fits. And that means we also have to involve civilians. So right now we're involving civilians to get rid of that backlog with respect to the internal oversight and internal affairs backlog. This is very, very important because we need our officers also out on the street taking calls, but we also need folks who aren't biased, who maybe for good reasons, maybe they had folks they worked with in the field and they're just trying to help each other out. We had to break that cycle, and that's what we've done with the EFIT program. And lastly, I want to state that we have to be able to do more than one thing at once. We are going to fight crime under my administration, but we are also going to continue on reform. And that is what we have to do, because under a U.S. federal judge, reform is also not a choice. So anyone who tells you otherwise, that there's some quick fix or something like that, one, is not telling you the truth. Two, they should do reform for the right reasons because our department needs it. That's why they're here in the first place.
Thank you. Candidate Gonzalez.
First of all, I provide the Albuquerque Police Department with the proper leadership it needs in order to hold themselves and the officers accountable to the public, just like we have at the Sheriff's Office. We have no history, no record, and no patterns of use of force violations against citizens of Bernalillo County, to include Albuquerque, and we work here often. People respect us, we have a great relationship with the public, and they should reciprocate. I believe that there is no easy solution, but it comes down to compliance. You have to have competent people that understand that the pathway forward for this community is getting that compliance piece done. So you have to be able to write reasonable, common sense policies that are achievable for the officers so they can serve the people. The lack of service is creating more victims, more harm to the public right now because the Albuquerque police officers aren't supported, aren't provided the direction, the training, and all the support they need in this tough environment nationally because all eyes are on them. What we need to do is tailor the needs of the people and provide them with the services from the police department that they deserve and need. There's over a $200 million budget, and when there's Albuquerque police officers that telling you that there's nothing that they can do for you, that's unacceptable constitutionally. So what we'll do is get back to constitutional policing, provide them with what they need, the support, and not fold to the politics. And that goes back to my point about political reform. It starts with their leadership.
Thank you, Candidate Gonzalez. Candidate Aragon.
Thank you. I disagree entirely with the premise of your question. I'm glad that it's located there as question number 4. That's right there. I'd also like to address 2 things that have already been said. Our police officers are not criminals. I think we need to look more of our police force as a group of good guys. It's unfortunate that we've created that culture here in our city. As Mayor Keller has stated, identifying things according to sex and race, that further divides the police department. Again, we need more bodies. Sheriff Gonzalez stated that we're less violent when we hire more women. I mean, between racism and sexism and the things that are being said here tonight, I'm a little bit incredulous. But let me get back to the use of force issues. This agreement can't be modified or changed. It is what it is. The city of Albuquerque is plaintiff to the decree. We did this to ourselves. We need to understand that. That's not stated enough. Mayor Keller has not fought hard on behalf of our police officers. He's put more obstacles in the way of our police officers. There's a baseline Department of Justice decree that is set. The Keller administration has added even more things to that to try and appease James Ginger, and I think that that's a bad thing as well. So $200 million, that's not enough. I've already stated we need more money for our police officers. So the city is plaintiff and party to the consent decree. We have to engage the Department of Justice daily, build a relationship with them, accelerate compliance, fight them, remove them as quickly as possible. We also have to improve the morale of the officers. They're suffering. 3 out of 4 of them want to leave and retire. And it has a lot to do with the way that we're talking here tonight here in this forum. I apologize if that offends any of you. We've got a crime problem, 96 murders out on the street, and we're talking about race and hiring practices of discrimination. These are not things that we would tolerate in a private business. We need to support our police officers. We need to understand the Department of Justice decree is in our control. Thank you.